on today's episode, I'm going to be taking you through a review of my book, which is How to Build Generational Wealth Through Oil Palm Farming in Nigeria. This is Nigeria #1 bestseller in oil palm book. If you find a book on this same subject that is better than this book, I will give you a refund and I will apologize to you. So I will be telling you all the chapters, everything I discuss in this book. I'll be running you through a review about this book, how it's come about, the content, what you stand to gain, and everything. So the book was written last year and it has done numbers. Happy New Year to you all, and I wish you all the best in this year 2025. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time we'll be seeing each other this year, and I can say this is my first video on the channel for this year. I'm happy to see you, and I want to encourage you that this year 2025 will be your year of bumper harvest, will be your year of prosperity and progress in your farming journey. On today's episode, I just want to talk about something very special to me. As you all know, last year December I launched my first oil palm book. So many people who have been following me for the past years on this channel know that I'm an agri-consultant, not just an agri-consultant. I'm an oil palm expert because my area of specialization or my area of interest is particularly in the area of oil palm farming. So, and I started my journey into the oil palm value chain in the year 2016. Apart from the fact that I read agriculture in my first degree, University of Ilorin, I started my oil palm journey when I was posted to the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFO, in Benin, where I started to work as a research assistant. I finished my service in 2017 and I worked there briefly for a year before I later joined the Federal Ministry of Agriculture here in Abuja, where I presently work. Although I did my master's degree in China Agricultural University. So everything about my education has been around agriculture, and since 2016 I've been involved in oil palm farming, oil palm consultancy establishment, and everything in oil palm value chain. So last year I wrote a book due to the interest, the passion, and the love I have for the oil palm tree, and because of the kind of exposure I know about the oil palm tree, that it can offer our society, it can offer our country as a whole. So I so much believe in the crop, and I put together a book last year just to help so many people who wanted to do oil palm farming in the right way. So on today's episode, what I'll be doing specifically is that I'm going to be giving an account and a review of my book. So last year December I released the book, and I can categorically tell you that this is Nigerian best-selling oil palm book. This is the best oil palm book you can think of. Unlike so many agricultural book or some other oil palm book you will find around, which usually talk about the science of how to grow, how to maintain, how to farm oil palm. My book is a two-in-one book, which focus on the science and the business. So while you are mastering the art and the science of how to grow, how to establish, how to manage, my book will also put you through on the business aspect of oil palm farming, how you can manage your farm as a production entity, as a business, how you can run your record, how you can bring about efficiency, how you can cut costs, how you can do marketing, and so many other things like that. So I released the book last month, and as God will have it, we are doing numbers, because at the present moment we've sold more than 500 copies in soft copy and in hard copy, and also on digital platforms like Seller. So the book is available in both soft copy and hard copy. Also available in leading bookshops in Nigeria. You can get to buy it at Bookseller in Ibadan and Abuja. You can also get to buy it at Rovinheights Books. That is the Nigerian #1 bookshop presently. You can get to buy it in Abuja, Lagos, Ibadan, and Port Harcourt through Rovinheights. You can also order for the book on their website. And you can also contact me to get the soft copy and the hard copy. You can also get it on Seller. So on today's episode, I will be giving an account of what to expect for some of us who have not gotten a copy. But I'm not saying this because I'm the author of the book. If you want to do anything, it's better you equip yourself with knowledge. So, and you will never find a better book on this subject than this book. If you find a better book than my book in Nigeria on the subject of oil palm, I'll give you a refund and I will apologize for wasting your time. So on today's episode, I'm going to be telling you what is inside this book. So apart from the fact that I put my experience, my educational background, and everything I know about oil palm farming. So what I really did in this book is that this book contains about 110 pages. I try as much as possible to reduce the use of big grammar, scientific and agricultural jargons in this book. I made it simple as 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 in as you can have it. I try all my best to break all the scientific and agricultural jargons down in simple and layman terms. So it is a book you can easily pick up, read, understand, and assimilate and put into action. It's a 110-page book, which is divided into two parts. The first part, he talks about the science of oil palm farming. And the first part contains of 5 chapters. The second part also consists of 5 chapters. So I'm going to be reading to you the chapters you should be expecting in this book. In the part one, which deals with the science of oil palm farming. The chapter one is preparing for success in oil palm farming. So in this chapter, we look into understanding the oil palm tree itself, the site selection, the type of site that is good for oil palm, the type of site that are not good for oil palm. We talk about how to select your planting material, the type of planting material we have, where to get them, and so many other information like that, and how to avoid froster when you are sourcing for your planting material. The second chapter under part one is establishing a thriving oil palm plantation. How you go about establishing your oil palm in the best way ever. So we talk about feed preparation here, how you can prepare your farmland before you go into the establishment per se. We also talk about farm layout and setting out. We talk about the spacing and the planting itself, when to plant, how to go about the spacing, the digging and everything like that. Then we talk about vacancy filling. That is chapter 2. On chapter 3, we talk about managing plantation for maximum yield. In this chapter, we talk about how you go about managing your plantation, the routine management practices that's needed to be carried out on your farm for you to achieve the best result. We talk about weed control. We talk about the type of weed control. We talk about pruning, water management and irrigation. We talk about mulching. We talk about fertilizer application and method and timing. We talk about so many things. We talk about fertilizer recommendation here. We also talk about intercropping and cover cropping. We talk about ablation. We talk about replanting of your plantation. The fourth chapter under the first part, which is the fourth chapter, we talk about from harvest to market, processing and packaging of oil palm products. So in this chapter, we talk about the principle guiding harvesting, when to harvest, the best time to harvest, how to harvest, the frequency of your harvest. We'll also talk about processing itself, how you go about your processing, the type of machinery you need, how to station your machinery, where to get them, and the process of processing itself. We talk about so many things in this chapter. We talk about packaging. I also talk about byproduct of oil palm processing. We talk about the material of choice you should be using in your packaging. I also mentioned things like the design and the branding of your packaging material, storage and transport, and everything like that concerning the transport and storage of palm oil. Then the last chapter on uh, on part one, we talk about safeguarding your investment. In this chapter is one of the chapter you should know about if you want to establish or you want to do business in oil palm farming. So we talk about safeguarding your investment. So after establishing your farm, there are so many risks and threats that your farm might be prone to, such as bushfire, theft, pests and diseases, so many other things like that. So in this chapter, I broke it down on how you can prevent your investment against pests and diseases, against bushfire, against theft, against Fulani herdsmen attack, and so many other things like that. So those are the things you will be getting from the book. Then the part two is basically for the business of oil palm farming. So because one thing in oil palm farming, you cannot just be growing crop. You have to involve yourself in the business. So the part two of the book talks about the business of profitable oil palm farming. And the first chapter under that part will talk about cost efficiency strategy for plantation setup. If you want to set up your plantation, there are some strategies you can engage in that will help you to cut your cost. So those are the strategies I laid out in this chapter, and I explained them in total. So the second chapter under part two talks about optimizing plantation operation for efficiency. So in this chapter, we talk about how you can optimize the operation on your plantation for you not to be running at loss. We talk about things like record keeping. We talk about workforce distribution. I talk about farm layout. I talk about reward and punishment system on your plantation. I also talk about forming workers into team. I also talk about continuous improvement and training. These are the things you need to put together to achieve efficiency. Then the third chapter discuss scaling up and industrializing your plantation. So this chapter focus on how you want to scale up your operation and how you want to industrialize your farm. One thing I usually tell people is that anybody that have an oil palm plantation, you are not just having a farm, you are having an industrial complex, an industrial estate, because you have a farm that will produce the bunches for you, and you also have a factory that will turn those bunches into a variety of products. So this chapter talks about how you can industrialize your plantation and your farm in the best way possible. Then it talks about things that you need to have on your farm, and so many other things like that. Then the fourth chapter under this part, I talk about navigating the oil palm market. So it's very, very important when you are doing business for you to understand your market. And each market of every sector of the economy have their own different rules and how they operate. So in this chapter, I broke it down how the oil palm market is being structured and how to enter, how to operate in the market for you to have a profitable and successful operation by means of selling. So in this chapter, I talk about the global oil palm market outlook, the Nigerian oil palm market, the characteristics of the Nigerian oil palm market, the strategies for marketing oil palm products in Nigeria. So those are the things I put out there. Also, I discuss how seasonality affects the oil palm market in Nigeria and how oil palm producer can leverage on the seasonality to their advantage. And lastly, but not the least, in the part two, I talk about the untapped income opportunity in oil palm farming. So, to so many people, oil palm farming is just a way by which you grow oil palm, you produce palm oil, you produce palm kernel oil, and that's it. There are so many ways by which you make money from your oil palm farm. So, which are hidden to so many people. There are like 5 or 6 of them, and I listed them in this book. So it's like a bonus and like a cap, a crown on it. So if you don't buy my book, you are missing a lot. You are missing a lot because it's a master guide. It's not just a book you read on how to just establish. It will put you through. It will put you to give you strategy, how to operate in the market, how to do your processing, how to position yourself, and it will also open your eye to opportunities. So it's a gift from me to you. If you have my book, it's just like you are picking from my wealth of experience. You are picking from my years of education and my years of practice in the oil palm oil palm industry. So the forward to my book was written by a World Bank economist. So for you to know the standing of this book, is Nigeria's number one seller in oil palm book. So this is a token from me to you. The book sells for 10,000 naira, and it's available for nationwide delivery, both soft copy and hard copy. And I'll be waiting for you in my DM for you to grab your copy before you set out for this business. And I wish you all the best. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Shishi.